Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back with me, Nurhabiba Firdausy, and the last digit of my student number is 77. Today, we are going to talk about foods that kill your brain and health. But before that, let me tell you why I chose this topic. So, our brain has often been the most important organ of our body. It is just like the CPU that controls each and every functioning, be it our thinking, concentration, or the beating of the heart. Everything is wired to the brain, which makes it even more crucial to take care of what we eat and we don't. So here, when I looked for this topic, I found an interesting quote by Anne Wigmore. The quote is, "The food you eat can either be the safest and the most powerful medicine or the slowest form of poison." So we often eat a lot of things, but certain foods can be negatively affect the functioning of our brain, which directly impacts our memory, reaction, emotions, mood, and also increases the risk of mental health conditions like dementia. As we age, we need to keep our brain healthy. So here are five worst food for our brain that is slowly and steadily killing our focus, intelligence, and a lot more. Okay, so the first one is sugary beverages. So the example is just like cola, juices, energy drinks, and soda. These drinks has been a part of our lives. While they do taste amazing, of course, but they kills our and also they kills our thirst for a while. But it also give us some serious illness. The sugary beverage easily increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiac disease. They also have a negative effect on our brain, and type 2 diabetes is also at times the causes for increasing the risk of Alzheimer. Well, we all know that these drinks are high in fructose, which leads to high blood pressure, fats, obesity, brain inflammation, impaired memory, dementia, and more. And the next one is alcohol. We already know what excessive consumption of alcohol can do something with our brain. The side effects are like brain volume disruption of neurotransmitter and more. Besides that, it also leads to a deficiency of vitamin B1, which is related to causing brain disorder like Wernicke's encephalopathy or so Wernicke is just like the parts of your brain. So if you consume alcohol too much, uh, this Wernicke's part will what is that? Will get ill. Yeah, if it is already broken, it will develop into chronic memory disorder. And then the next food is extra salty foods. So we all know how salty foods affect our blood pressure and directly impacts our heart. The higher amount of sodium that we consume, the higher risk of our cognitive thinking, intelligence, and ability to think will be decreased. Many studies have proved that the consumption of salty food can be dangerous as drugs as they lead to severe withdrawal symptoms and cravings. And then the next food is trans fat. Since our school days, we have been told how trans fat can lead to obesity, heart problems, and even increased cholesterol. So let me tell you that they are worse for our brain as they harm the reflexes, responsive functioning, and increases the risk of stroke. When we consume it too much for a longer period, they will shrink our brain, which is similar to what Alzheimer does to the brain. And the last food that we need to avoid is nicotine. Despite the popular fact that nicotine is quite harmful, consumption of it wreaks havoc in our brain, which decreases the free flow of blood, glucose, and oxygen around it. Needless to say, how these functioning are vital it is for your brain, from increased risk of lung cancer, premature aging to tightening the capillaries or blood vessels that are quite essential when it comes to your brain function. So, what are the healthy foods for us and what is the tips and trick to eat healthily? So, the first one is eat lots of fruit and vegetable. It is recommended that we eat at least 5 portions of a variety of fruits and vegetable every day. They can be fresh, frozen, canned, dry, or juiced. A portion of fresh, canned, and frozen fruit and vegetable is around 80 grams a day, while a portion of dried fruit, which should be kept to meal times, is around 30 grams. A 150 milliliter glass of fruit juice, vegetable juice, or smoothie also count as one portion, but limit the amount you have to no more than one glass a day, as these drinks are sugary and can damage your teeth. And then the next tips is cut down the saturated fat and sugar. Talking about saturated fat, of course, actually we need some fat in our diet, but it is important to pay attention to the amount and type of fat that we are eating. There are two main types of fat. The first one is saturated and unsaturated. Too much saturated fat can increase the amount of cholesterol in the blood, which increases the risk of developing heart disease. On average, men should have no more than 30 grams of saturated fat a day. And on the average, women should have no more than 20 grams of saturated fat a day, while children under the age of 11 should have less saturated fat than adults, but a low-fat diet is not suitable for children under 5. So, where can we find the saturated fat in foods? So, there are many examples, just like sausages, butter, hard cheese, cream, cakes, biscuits, and many others. So try to cut down the saturated fat and choose foods that contain unsaturated fats instead, such as vegetables, oils, or oily fish, and also avocados. For a healthier choice, use a small amount of vegetable or olive oil. When you are having a meat, choose lean cuts and cut off any visible fat. All types of fat are high in energy, so they should only be eaten in small amounts. And besides saturated fat, we also need to focus on the sugar. So regularly consuming foods and drinks high in sugar will increase the risk of obesity and tooth decay. So to reduce those risks, free sugar is the answer. Free sugars are any sugars that added to the foods or drink or commonly found in natural uh, commonly found naturally like in honey, syrups, and unsweetened fruit juice and smoothies. So this is the type of sugar that you should be cutting down on rather than the sugar found in fruit and milk. So when you want to buy the food labels can help a lot. So use the food label in order to check how much sugar foods contain. More than 22.5 grams of total sugars per 100 gram means the food is high in sugar, while 5 grams of total sugars or less per 100 gram means the food is low in sugar. All right, now let's go to the next tips, which have eat less salt, not more than 6 grams a day for adults. Eating too much salt can raise the blood pressure. People with high blood pressure are more likely to develop heart disease or have a stroke. Even if you do not add salt to your food, you may still be eating too much. About 3/4 of the salt you eat is already in the food when you buy it, such as breakfast cereals, soups, breads, and sauces. Use food labels to help you cut down. More than 1.5 grams of salt per 100 gram means the food is high in salt. Adults and children aged 11 and over should eat no more than 6 grams of salt, or it is about a teaspoonful a day. Younger children should have even less than that. And lastly, do not get thirsty. You need to drink plenty of fluids to stop you getting dehydrated. The government recommends drinking 6 to 8 glasses every day. This is in addition to the fluid you get from the food you eat. All non-alcoholic drinks count, but water, lower fat milk, and lower sugar drinks, including tea and coffee, are healthier choices. Try to avoid sugary, soft, and fizzy drinks as they are high in calories. They are also bad for your teeth. Even unsweetened fruit juice and smoothies are high in free sugar. Your combined total of drinks from fruit juice, vegetable juice, and smoothies should not be more than 150 milliliter a day, which is a small glass. Remember to drink more fluids during hot weather or while exercising. All right, that's all about today's topic. Does anyone of you want to ask me related to the topic?
Nur Habibah, I want to ask you.
Yes, please.
Okay. My question is, the quote that you take is interesting. Is there any reason why you choose that, and why do you agree that the food that you eat can be a slowest poison? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Uh, yeah, this quote is really interesting. And I also agree with the quotes that I take because it is real. Firstly, because it is related to the topic. And why do I say, why do I have the same opinion that food can be also a poison for us? Because if we don't choose our food from now on, if we don't eat healthily, the food that we consume will give effect on our future. So, uh, like when we eat uh, salty foods, sugary beverages, we will feel we will feel like it is delicious for now. and we don't the effect of eating those foods will not directly come to us, but it is slowly uh, and yeah, we will get the disease and we will get ill in the future, not directly after you eat. So that's why I do agree with the quotes that saying the food that we eat can be a slowest poison, because yeah, the effect is not directly come to us, but it will affect in the future. Yeah, did I answer your question, Fanny? Okay. The next question, does anyone want to ask me?
Firda, I want to ask question.
Yes, Winnie, please.
Um, you say that we should avoid unhealthy food like sugary beverage, uh, and then fats and some others. So, what do you mean by avoid here? Does it mean we cannot eat it at all?
Okay, thank you, Winnie. Um, so what I mean by avoid here, it means that we need to control of what is that? The amount that we consume. Of course, we can eat it, of course, but we need to what is that? We need to be aware of the amount that we consume. For example, when you wanna use the salt or when you wanna drink the sugary beverages, of course it is not a big problem, but probably uh you can consume it we can consume it once a week or maybe twice in a month. So yeah, because we cannot deny that this kind of killer food is actually delicious, right? They are really tasty. So yeah, sometimes we really want to eat it, right? So yeah, it is okay to eat it, but we need to control the amount of those foods that we eat. But the better choice, of course, we need to eat uh, healthily and also constantly. Okay, did I answer your question, Winnie?
Yes, Nurhabiba, thank you.
Okay. Now I still have the last questions. Does anyone want to ask again?
Nadia, Nurhabiba, I want to ask questions.
Yes, please.
Um, my questions is there another tips and trick to be healthy beside those on your explanation? Thank you, Nurhabiba.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so I think there are a lot, even there are thousands of tips and tricks to be healthy beside those four that I have shared to you. Probably just like beside maintaining the food that we eat, we can also do some exercise like doing sport or workout. I know this is not really related to the food consuming, but if we do the sport, it will help. What is that? Our body health. So yeah, I think this is just like the additional beside focusing on our diets. Besides that, yeah, yeah, there are a lot actually. There are a lot, but one of them that I can share to you uh, is doing the sport while yeah doing the sport regularly. Besides, you can also keep the time of your or what is that? Maintain your sleeping time. So rest well and also do the sport well. Yeah, I know this is not really related to the diets, but I think this is really helpful for what is that? Live a healthy life. Okay, did I answer your question, Nadia? Okay, guys, I think that's all. Thank you so much for your attention. So this is for the resources that I take and also for the further reading. You can open this website and also, yeah, the second link is provide us 8 tips for the healthy eating. So it is related to Nadia's question. So if you want to eat more, I do really appreciate, and you can also click this link. Okay, I think that's all, guys, for my presentation. Thank you so much. Let me close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.